to the National Media Archive. To learn more or volunteer, go to nationalmediaarchive.com. It's late 2001, just months after 9/11. The US is on edge, obsessed with security, but then a mysterious message flashes across a US Army computer. Your security system is crap. I am Soul. I will continue to disrupt at the highest levels. You might wonder, who is brazen enough to taunt the military like this? The answer: Gary McKinnon, a Scottish computer enthusiast with a burning obsession for uncovering government secrets, especially those involving UFOs. At the time, terms like firewall and intrusion detection were buzzwords, but many government systems were shockingly vulnerable. Think of a high-tech bank with the front door left wide open. So how did one man breach the digital defenses of the world's most powerful military? Let's unravel the story, starting with the man behind the keyboard. Let me tell you, a single message would spark an international incident, exposing not just technical gaps, but ethical dilemmas that still haunt cybersecurity today. Gary McKinnon wasn't your average thrill-seeking hacker. Born in Glasgow in 1966, he was a curious child, peppering his parents with questions about the stars and planets. By 14, he was coding games on an Atari 400. Imagine learning to drive in a go-kart, then graduating to Formula One. His fascination with space and the unknown led him to the British UFO Research Association, where he found a community equally obsessed with the unexplained. Now, you might be thinking, what makes someone spend sleepless nights scouring government computers? For Gary, it was a quest for truth. He believed the US was hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life. But his journey from curious teenager to international cyber outlaw highlights how passion paired with technical skill can spiral into unintended consequences. So how did Gary go from playing video games to playing cat and mouse with the Pentagon? Let's dive into the tools and tactics that made it possible. Let's break down Gary's methods. His weapon of choice: a dial-up modem offering a snail-paced 56 kilobits per second. Think trying to fill a swimming pool with a coffee cup. Armed with a simple script, he scanned port 139, used for file and printer sharing across 65,000 machines in minutes. In cybersecurity, this is called port scanning, like knocking on every door in a hotel, hoping someone forgot to lock up. To his shock, many government computers still use default passwords. Imagine leaving password 123 as the key to the Pentagon. He then installed remote control software called Remotely Anywhere, giving him almost ghost-like access to desktops across NASA and the military. The conflict: while Gary's technical approach was simple by today's standards, the real drama was his growing boldness, leaving digital graffiti and tempting fate with every click. Why did Gary McKinnon risk everything? It wasn't money or fame. It was UFOs. He was convinced the US government stashed away proof of extraterrestrial life hidden in classified files. He searched for unfiltered images and secret spreadsheets, hoping to find smoking gun evidence. In hacker lingo, payload is the treasure you seek. For Gary, his payload was cosmic. Now you might ask, did he actually find anything? According to Gary, yes, a folder with high-resolution images of strange cigar-shaped craft and a spreadsheet labeled non-terrestrial officers. Let me tell you a story. During one late-night session, Gary tried to download a mysterious photo from NASA. The image loaded painfully, slowly. Remember dial-up? And before it finished, someone at NASA noticed and cut him off. Was this the closest anyone's come to downloading alien evidence? Or just a digital wild goose chase? The debate rages on. No hacker is invisible forever. Gary's downfall wasn't just fancy cyber forensics, but human error. He'd leave taunting notes. Your security is crap, that painted a target on his back. He also failed to hide the trail left by the remotely anywhere software. In IT, this is called a digital footprint. Think muddy boots in a spotless mansion. His biggest mistake, logging in during working hours when system admins were most alert. Suddenly, his presence became a glaring intrusion. Now you might be thinking, didn't he know the risks? Yes, but obsession clouds judgment, especially when you think you're on the brink of history. The resolution: in March 2002, UK police arrested Gary at his London apartment, ending his midnight mission, but sparking an international legal battle. After his arrest, Gary faced the full might of the US legal system. The charges: hacking 97 military computers, causing $700,000 in damages, and crippling the US Army's DC network for days. Extradition: transferring a suspect from one country to another, became the core conflict. The US wanted Gary tried on American soil, threatening 70 years in prison and $1.75 million in fines. His supporters, including politicians and celebrities, argued the punishment was excessive, especially for a non-violent, mentally vulnerable defendant. Let's pause. Would you want your fate decided in a foreign court, facing lifetime imprisonment for what some call digital trespassing? The legal battle dragged on for a decade, raising questions about cybercrime, sovereignty, and compassion in the justice system. A turning point in Gary's case came with his diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism linked to intense focus and social difficulties. Asperger's, or ASD, often correlates with high intelligence, but challenges in moral reasoning and risk assessment. Picture a brilliant chess player who can't always predict the emotional response of their opponent. His lawyers argued that his hacking was driven by obsession, not malice, and that extradition could endanger his mental health. potentially leading to depression or suicide. Now, you might be wondering, should neurodivergence excuse criminal acts or at least change how we respond to them? This ethical dilemma split public opinion. Ultimately, medical testimony swayed the British government, highlighting the need for compassion in high-stakes legal battles involving mental health. Gary's story exploded in the media, turning him from anonymous hacker to cause celeb. Newspapers, TV shows, and even pop stars like Sting weighed in, framing him as either dangerous criminal or vulnerable truth seeker. Public opinion split. Was he a terrorist, as some U.S. officials implied, or a harmless UFO buff who simply poked around digital closets left unlocked? This debate highlighted two terms: cyberterrorism, attacks intended to cause chaos, and ethical hacking, using skills to expose, not exploit, vulnerabilities. Let me ask, are our laws keeping up with the blurry lines between curiosity and crime in the internet age? The resolution: massive protests, legal appeals, and international headlines forced governments to reconsider both their cybersecurity and their compassion. After a decade-long struggle, the UK refused to extradite Gary in 2012, citing his medical condition and risk of suicide. The charges in the US were dropped, but his freedom came with boundaries. He still can't leave Britain. He now runs a small search optimization business, a far cry from his days probing the Pentagon. Some say he's living proof of rehabilitation. Others argue the system let a major cyber offender walk free. Now, you might wonder, did justice prevail, or did media pressure and public sympathy tip the scales? The tension between law, ethics, and public opinion remains unresolved. But one thing's clear: Gary's case changed how countries handle cross-border cybercrime and mental health. And the story isn't over. His tale is being turned into a feature film, ensuring his legacy endures on the big screen and in cybersecurity debates. So, what's the legacy of Gary McKinnon for cybersecurity? His case was a wake-up call. Default passwords and open ports are now seen as rookie mistakes, not minor oversights. The technical terms, vulnerability and penetration testing, have become industry standards. Think of them as digital home inspections, searching for weak spots before someone else does. But there's another legacy: renewed public interest in UFOs. In recent years, former Pentagon officials have claimed the U.S. possesses non-human craft, echoing Gary's allegations from 2 decades ago. Now you might ask, were Gary's discoveries real or the product of wishful thinking and digital noise? Without hard evidence, the truth remains elusive. In the end, Gary McKinnon's story is a modern myth, part cautionary tale, part inspiration, and a reminder that the digital age blurs the line between fact and fantasy.